Hello, what's up guys? Welcome back to another pick a card reading. In today's reading, we are going to be taking a look at who you were meant to be in this lifetime, or who you are meant to be. Yeah, who you are meant to be in this lifetime. We do have 3 piles today, and for the piles, I'm using 3 different tarot decks, and I have 3 different crystals here that you can choose from. The first crystal is going to be one of my all-time favorites and one of the first crystals I've ever owned, Labradorite. For the second pile, we have Boulder Opal. For the third pile, we have aquamarine, this pretty blue color here. This stone is actually good for activating the higher heart chakra, which helps us to unlock the feelings of unconditional love for ourselves and others. Not too familiar with the Boulder Opal. I actually have an interesting story behind this crystal. It's actually not really mine, I guess. But that's a story for another day. But this Labradorite, this is actually the very first crystal I ever had or owned. Very first one, this exact stone. And for me, Labradorite has been really key and essential for helping me activate and hone in really on my psychic abilities, my intuition, and developing boundaries as an empath. So if that is something that really speaks to you on any of these stones, you should look into getting one. I'm sure if you guys are into spirituality already, or into things like tarot, you probably already have heard of these stones and you probably already own one. But that's enough of my rant, I guess. The tarot decks I'm using for pile number 1, I am using the, I always forget the name of this one, Angel Wisdom Tarot, and it's by Radley Valentine. Okay. For pile number 2, I believe this is the Tarot of the Sidhe that I'm using. And this is actually one of my very favorite tarot decks, the Tarot of the Sidhe. And then lastly, I am using the Crowley Tarot deck for pile number 3, or the Thoth Tarot deck, however you want to pronounce it, by Aleister Crowley. And I just want to like dabble into that a little bit real quick, because when I was like pulling the cards out for pile number 3, like I was looking at the cards and I was like, wow, this is really like chaotic energy. And Aleister Crowley was a very chaotic man. He was a man who, in my opinion, my very humble opinion, because I mean I don't know him in real life, but just reading about his life and his work, he sounded like someone who found it hard to kind of temper his passions and his like primal urges, which kind of made or led his life to be very chaotic. And then in the very end, it is said that he died without any money when he started out with. He was pretty well off when he started out, but again, his inability to tame his primal urges and instincts led him down a path of just, you know, when you live a life with no discipline, it almost always leads you down a path of destruction, because a major key and a major reason why we are here is to become better versions of ourselves. And obviously, if we're feeding every low vibrational feeling or thought or urge we have, eventually it's going to lead us to our own demise, okay? Because we're lacking structure where we need it. Okay, And those were kind of some of the cards that came out for pile number 3. Spoiler alert, but maybe somebody needed to hear that before they chose a pile. So without further ado, guys, let me go ahead and I will allow you to pause the video if you need to, but we are going to get started with pile number 1, the Labradorite pile and the Angel Wisdom Tarot. Pile number 1, peeps, those of you who have chosen the Labradorite with the Angel Wisdom Tarot deck, this is going to be your reading. Let's hop on in. All right, so we have the Ouroboros showing up in your reading, which is pretty significant. This represents the alchemical process in itself, the ever-evolving, ever-changing life itself, and the alchemical process itself. It's constant, okay? It's never ending, and that's what the Great Serpent represents. And then we have the resin here, and the resin is about... All right, so I'm actually going to read it from the book. It may make a little more sense than what I would explain, but resin is a miraculous material. It offers both stability and transparency. For centuries, sculptors and archivists have used it to capture an object in time and place, preserving it for observation or adoration. Envision a delicate insect or flower suspended in a paperweight, such as the alchemical energy of resin. Its qualities are protective, sealing, and hardening. When this card appears, there is a holding that's occurring, either literally or psychically. While well-intended, someone may be limiting the one they wish to protect. There may be an aspect of nostalgia at work in the laboratory, an unwillingness to let go or change. On the other hand, the resin card may indicate preservation of that which is most valued, a return to what's been lost. In my opinion, because of the energy that I've gotten intuitively already, just looking at the other cards in this pile, what I feel like and what has been shown to me, or the feeling that's been given to me with this resin and then the Ouroboros, is there is some sort of change that you guys have been resistant to in pile number 1, whether it's subconsciously you're consciously aware of it or not. I do feel like there's a fear of doing something differently or letting go of something, and I think it's an idea you may have of yourself, and I feel like it's something you're unconsciously holding on to. And for a lot of you guys, it has to do with finances and money. Okay, nobody wants to let's make this, nobody wants to not have money, but sometimes there can be certain limiting beliefs within ourselves that makes us believe that a certain lifestyle or money in general is not meant for us. And for this pile, I feel like that is something like embedded in your subconscious mind. And I feel like for a lot of you guys, it may have to do with something ancestral or like a generational trauma or curse. We're going to use that word loosely. It does not mean that somebody went out and casted a spell on your bloodline and cursed it, but the curse is the trauma that has been cycled through generation that no one has been able yet to break free from or break out of. But I feel like it's going to end with you guys. And I feel like the universe is constantly sending you struggle, or I don't want to say struggle, but they're constantly sending you challenges and obstacles to overcome, with hopes that eventually you will get the message and take some sort of action where you need to take it that is going to transform your life. And I'm hearing overnight. So success for you guys is not meant to, it wasn't meant to take as long as it feels like it's taking for you guys. Because I'm hearing, or they're telling me that your success is all up to you. It's not the universe stopping anything. It's not someone cursing you. It's not someone evil eyeing you. It's not any of that. It is something within yourself that needs to be looked at. And I'm so sorry, guys. I was just thirsty. This time I brought my coconut water with me to the desk because I get very parched during the readings. But anywho, I'm hearing shaman. Okay, for this pile, I'm recommending, and I normally don't really do this, but for some reason, like, they're telling me that you may want to see a shaman, okay, in regards to this issue, because it is something generational and cyclical in nature. Ooh, and another thing, when I got this card, when I was pulling cards for this pile, Sirius, it says past. This card speaks on when the beings from the, I was gonna say planet, from the constellation of Sirius first came here. They had this idea or mission to save humanity, but it was to the point where it was a little too overbearing. They were just doing a little too much to where it took the work away from the human beings, number one. And number two, if you focus all of your energy on saving something or someone else, there's little to no energy left for yourself, okay? And you burn yourself out. And what I get with this is you guys have this blueprint, okay, of this urge or willing or want to save humanity, or at least help in some way, shape, or form. And that is something, that's a calling you have on your life, okay? And the Ouroboros also talks about learning that the purpose of life really is to be of service to others. And how can we do that, okay? Sometimes it's as simple as taking our own experiences and sharing them. Sometimes that's just as simple as it is, especially in the age of Aquarius, okay? You can easily start a podcast or a blog or YouTube channel where you are sharing your experiences with the intention to enlighten or guide other people who may have gone through similar situations or are going through similar situations. So we have difficulty in the beginning here, and it says growing pains, doubts and fears, awkwardness, becoming stronger, vulnerability, and experience. So when I said that your success was not meant to take as long as it has, I don't say that with the intent to downplay what you've gone through or your efforts, okay? I will say that much of what you've gone through with the Ouroboros, it was to transform you. It's to make you a better alchemist. So even if your success is taking longer, that just means the more powerful you are going to be when you finally come into your own and you finally achieve that success. Your skin is going to be that much tougher. Your wisdom is going to be that much deeper. Your convictions are going to be that much stronger. Your confidence in self is going to be that much stronger. So it's just like going through school and maybe failing a few times. And I don't mean to laugh, but it's kind of funny because I'm kind of resonating with this. But like going through school and failing a few classes, or, you know, dropping out, right? Because it's just a little too much for you. Just to realize that, just to grow up or mature a little bit more and then look back on it and it's like, it really wasn't that difficult. What am I tripping about? Realizing that you're just putting all of this unnecessary burden and stress on you. However, because you've matured a little bit, someone who's older and they go to school or go back to school, they're obviously going to, their focus is going to be a lot more potent than a younger person who's still trying to figure their life out, still doesn't know what they want to do. So there is a benefit for how long it's taking you to reach where you're ultimately trying to get at. And there's a reason why you've struggled, or why there have been so many challenges being placed on your path, okay? You guys have a very potent energy. Like, I'm seeing like the Kundalini at the base already rising, and it's creating this momentum within you. Like, I feel like when you guys finally find what it is you're meant to be doing, or you finally sit down and give it the attention that it needs, you guys are going to take off and you're going to soar to heights that you never thought were possible, because you were limiting yourself based on whatever this generational trauma or generational belief was, okay? All right, so I'm going to read into the tarot. We have the Hermit, the Knight of Pentacles. So a lot of you guys in this pile definitely could be Virgos, or you could have significant Virgo placements in your chart. And one thing about Virgos is they are naturally perfectionistic. And I don't care if that's not a word. They naturally want to seek perfection in all things, okay? The thing about it is they never see themselves through the eyes that their admirers see them through. They're always critiquing themselves. So while, let's say they are fully and 100% capable of recognizing the beauty in someone else's work or in someone else in general, but they have a hard time recognizing that same beauty within themselves or their own work, okay? So that may resonate with you even if you're not a Virgo. The thing about this energy in this pile though, especially with passion being here, you guys don't give up. Like, it doesn't matter what your path is looking like. It doesn't matter, you know, what your trajectory is looking like on the surface. You guys have this deep knowing that something is meant to work out for you in a greater sense, like on a larger scale than just what is common or convenient, okay? And it's because you guys have wisdom, you have knowledge that is meant to be shared on a grand scale. It's not something that's meant to just be shared amongst small groups of people, and it's not meant for you to share it with someone else to then go off and take credit for it. It's meant for you to put yourself out there, your face, attach your face to your message, okay? And then we have the Four of Swords and the Ace of Swords. I'm going to read all of this because some of this may resonate for some of you guys. But the Hermit says, time spent in peaceful meditation and meaningful solitude. Shine your light as an example to others. Seek out or become a spiritual mentor. Self-discovery. Loyal, dedicated, protective, apprehensive. Plan carefully before taking action, but then get going. Pay attention to the details. Wait for perfect timing. A guardian angel or someone who watches over you. This is the Knight of Pentacles. I do feel like with this black horse behind this man, you guys do have guardian angels on the other side. And you guys don't understand how closely high vibrational beings are working with you. I don't care what your life looks like or feels like to you right now. You have beings, these high vibrational beings, looking after you, guiding you, putting these ideas in your heart and mind, and making sure they're planting the seeds, okay? They're helping you along your journey. Some of these beings may actually be animals, like passed over animals. Like, you guys could have a strong connection to animals and they are part of your spiritual team, okay? But this Knight of Pentacles energy is very Virgo in energy, and so is the Hermit. The thing is, I feel like you guys have been in this place for a little bit too long. This Knight of Pentacles Hermit energy, where you're reclusive, you're not really going out much, you're not really sharing much, you're not really making connections, and then on top of that, it's like you're just going over certain ideas in your mind over and over again, trying to figure out which is going to be the best one, or trying to plan something to the absolute T instead of just putting it out there and allowing the people who are going to appreciate it, okay? Which is, you know, the downside of Virgo energy. We love to admire art. We love to admire the beauty in other people, even if it's imperfect. We see the perfectness in it, but we can't give ourselves the same credit. And I don't know what that is. But if you are a Virgo and you're resonating with this, that is double confirmation. Even if you're not a Virgo, it's confirmation. But if you are, that's double confirmation. Okay, so we have Four of Swords, Ace of Swords. Four of Swords says insights that come from meditation, the need to rest or take a vacation, allow yourself more time before making a decision, mental exhaustion, get more sleep. This is saying allow more time before making a decision. But what I feel like with this mental exhaustion here is you guys are getting decision fatigue. You are stuck in analysis paralysis. Just take some action, guys, please. I'm going to get into who you are meant to become anyway, because all of this doesn't matter, but this is a part of the hump that you're trying to get over right now. I feel like the mental exhaustion is coming from just not taking the next necessary action and stressing out over the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, the potential outcome, the fear of failure. I feel like you're being fatigued or exhausted by just thinking about this thing a little too much. We have the Ace of Swords, brilliant ideas that may need refinement, overcoming obstacles with faith that everything will work out, communicate clearly and concisely, remain objective. For a lot of you guys, your spirit guides are coming through to tell me, write down the ideas that you're having. Even if they don't make sense, even if you don't have a plan for them yet and you cannot conceive of a plan, even just write them down and revisit them later. As long as you're writing them down, you can revisit them, and you can revisit them with more information, because you can get more information as time goes along. But if you don't write them down, you'll eventually forget about all of it, and then you're back at square one, where you're constantly going over in your mind about all these ideas, like, where do I start? What do I do? That's an idea. Another thing is, okay, a lot of you guys in this pile do need to get more sleep. That's coming through as well. I was just drawn to that on that Four of Swords. Four of Swords does also indicate the rest before battle. And you see she has her armor here, her gear there, meaning she's going to, or this is her gear that she needs to prepare or get ready for battle. What am I trying to say? So for a lot of you guys, what I'm feeling like is this period of where it seems to be nothingness going on, where you're isolating yourself, you're protecting your energy. It's actually preparing you for what your next course of action is going to be. Because you are eventually going to do this thing. It's just a matter of when you decide to do it, because the success is there for you for your own taking. It's part of your destiny, and it's impossible for you not to get there. The thing is, when are you going to get there? That's up to you, okay? Mostly up to you. But I feel like you've gone through most of the battles, most of the challenges that you have needed to go through to learn a certain thing or things in order to become a certain person who is this wise counsel who can mentor other people. There were certain things you had to go through to even arrive at this place. And I feel like you've gone through that, but you're still in this period of rest, the Hermit and the Four of Swords. Just a second. Okay. I'm feeling like a deep sense of like pride, like proud energy. Like you're going to make yourself very proud one day. I'm hearing one day soon. The solar consciousness here speaks to our higher self. And a lot of you guys in this pile, I'm going to speak on who you are meant to become, because all of these cards here, yeah, I'm reading the energy as if this is the advice Spirit is giving to you currently. However, because all of these cards are out for who you are meant to become, you are meant to become this solid, stable, grounded, confident, level-headed, calm, peaceful, wise, spiritual person. That is what all of your challenges and obstacles were leading you up to. Becoming this person who is very grounded in their being and is capable of helping other people reach the same state within their own life. The thing is, you know, you are meant to have a lot of difficulties in the beginning of your journey, again, because that's how you learned or how you came to be this person that you are meant to become, is through the challenges and difficulties you had to face. Eventually, you're going to reach this place where you are going to take full control over your own life. And you're going to allow your passion to lead you down paths that you previously would have never even imagined. Okay? And I'm feeling the momentum build up within me. And this is happening over time. Right? I feel like you're going to be coming into contact with a lot of people who have a lot of power and a lot of influence. Okay? And Spirit is actually urging you or advising you to find some of these people, okay? Because you have a lot to offer the world, but I feel like a lot of you guys may need some sort of mentor or some sort of manager to help you get things off the ground, to kind of show you the ropes when it comes to building a brand or gaining a following or a large audience, because you have a very powerful star-like quality, but it's not in the sense where it's like superficial or surface level. It's something that is very profound, because it's coming from like within the root of your being. And this is something that a lot of people aspire to within their lifetime. And it's time to just put yourself out there and allow yourself to just flow with life. Stop placing constraints on yourself. Stop trying to put the weight of everything on yourself. Sometimes we need a little bit of assistance. Sometimes we need a little bit of help. We're not going to be strong in all areas when it comes to running a business or being an entrepreneur of any sort. Sometimes we have to have people backing us or, you know, informing us where we are uninformed. Okay? Once you reach this level of stardom or you peak, I'm not going to say when you peak, but once you come into it, once you finally get a taste of it, it's not going to feel as hard or difficult as it did in the beginning, like getting started. Of course not. But you're going to take a hold of it. Your newfound success, your newfound stardom or recognition. I feel like you guys are going to take a hold of that. And you're kind of just going to naturally run with it. Like it's in you. You know that saying, it's not on me, it's in me? Like it's literally in you guys. Like you are meant to be this person, and you're gonna realize that once you come into this this new level, this new recognition. You're going to realize that this was in me the entire time, because this feels so natural to me. Okay. The celebrity here says, I lead with my light, charismatic, imaginative, luminous, confident, authentic, inspiring, passionate, magnetic, impactful, public, fashionable, independent, noble, generous, unique. The administrator says, practical, grounded, persevering, wise, dedicated, strong, purposeful, leading, organized, structured, confident, strategic, assertive, disciplined, humanistic, and moral. And then we have passion. It says, do what excites you, get fired up about your life, increase your energy levels. And then we have the owl here, and it says, choose to know the truth because you can. Open your inner vision. You can see through deception, let the past go, and make room for a better life. Rise up. Magic and wisdom are your birthright. And we opened up this reading talking about how there's some sort of deep-seated, rooted trauma or belief surrounding success and money, especially, that you don't feel it's possible for yourself somewhere deep down. Okay? And when we feel these things, even when we do get money, we fear losing it, or we fear that it's not something that's going to last. Okay? And we kind of cling to it. And then we have this poverty mindset that keeps us stuck in our comfort zone because we're afraid of losing, or we're afraid of never getting to a place of comfort, of financial freedom, when that's literally just an illusion. Okay, so pile number 1, you are meant to be a powerful orator and leader, a speaker. You are meant to lead large groups of people down a path of self-discovery, helping people learn to love themselves, helping people to break karmic cycles, to become aware of karmic cycles. You are literally a spiritual teacher, spiritual mentor. And I feel like you're going to be doing it on a celebrity scale, okay? I feel like at some point you are going to be recognized on a very, very, very large scale for the work that you do or will do. You have to let go. When this card says let the past go, I do feel like it's the trauma, it's the genetic material, the ancestral karma that needs to be dealt with. It needs to be let go. Some of you guys will benefit greatly by going to a shaman, like someone who is deeply rooted and steeped into the esoteric realm of knowledge and wisdom. And not just someone, and no shade to anyone sharing their spiritual practices online, because obviously I'm here doing the same thing too, but preferably someone who has a lot of experience, okay, with doing what they do, and who has a lot of knowledge, a lot of ancestral knowledge, okay? So probably someone who is like maybe like an African spiritual teacher, or a Native American, or and Native American doesn't necessarily mean like only native to North America, but I'm talking about the South Americas as well. Someone indigenous, okay, that's what I'm getting at, like an indigenous person. I do recommend that. That's coming through very strongly with the serpent card, and I don't know why. Maybe there's like a key missing that's going to unlock something for you after meeting with or speaking with someone of that caliber, okay? It's like it's something laying dormant within yourself that needs to be activated by someone of that caliber, or made aware to you by someone of that caliber. And I don't know why, but I'm hearing, there was a line in one of Nipsey Hussle's songs where he says, "A crazy lady told me lead the way." Something, like, I forget the lyrics. Maybe Google them, they may be significant to you, but that's what I'm hearing, that line in specific. So maybe there is someone that you need to speak to in terms of like your destiny and purpose and your karma and dharma within this lifetime. Again, and then there is someone that you should speak to in regards to the business side of things, the earthly side of things to help you kind of navigate, you know, your career and where it's going and how to get it to go where you're wanting it to go. There are different avenues you can take. I mean, I don't know, maybe watch courses, but they're saying that you need a mentor, like a business mentor or a manager. You don't need it. I'm going to correct that. You don't need that, but you would benefit greatly by finding a mentor on the business or social media side of things if you're trying to take this large on social media. But everyone watching this, they're urging you to please, they're saying, please go find a shaman in your area or some sort of African spiritual teacher, someone indigenous. They don't have to be from a certain background or certain tribe or anything like that. They just have to be very steeped into their knowledge, their work, and be very serious about it. This is someone who has dedicated their entire lives to their type of work, their line of work. And they have to be somebody who was born into it. Like, they've kept tradition alive, and they can trace it back at least one generation. Okay. And this is not to say that if you are into this type of stuff, because I feel like a lot of you guys in this pile are meant to be some sort of spiritual leader, spiritual teacher. It's not to say that people like you guys, because then it would be downplaying your work, are unable to do something like that. No, we all need, and we all meet different teachers within our lives, okay? And sometimes we need a teacher who is a little more advanced than the average, okay? Who knows a little bit more than the average, okay? And I feel like you guys are those types of people. I just feel like there's something within you that has yet to accept that this is your path, or that you can do something like this, okay? And I feel like speaking to someone who's already in that line of work or in the craft, not craft, that sounds weird. It doesn't sound weird, but it just sounds, I don't know what I'm saying. But speaking with somebody who's already been on the path for some time can be very valuable to our own journeys, okay? Especially when we're having doubts, and we're not sure about ourselves and our abilities. Sometimes we need that reassurance, that confirmation that yes, this is what we're meant to be doing, and this is how we can take it further than what we have. Because you guys, the energy in this pile is just super powerful. Like, your auric field is powerful. It's in your face. And I know you guys know it. When you enter a room, people gravitate towards you. You may have a lot of haters, people who don't understand you, but then there's just as many people or more people who are magnetized and intoxicated by your energy, okay? Who want to know more, who feel like you can help them, and you can. That is part of your path, pile number one. But I do feel like there's a lot of apprehensiveness here. There's a lot of lack of belief in self, doubts and fears. Awkwardness, especially if you're a Virgo, you may suffer from social anxiety. Just because you judge yourself harshly, you feel like other people are also judging you harshly, or even someone with just social anxiety in general, even if you're not a Virgo. That's how it can be. But I want you guys to just ponder on this information, and you know, if you found it useful, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. You can also check out my website, cosmicmirrors.com, if you would like to book a personal reading, energy healing session, or just learn more about me and my work. And I hope to see you guys on another reading. Bye. Hello, pile number 2 people, those of you who have chosen the Boulder crystal. This is going to be your reading. Let's take a look at who you are meant to be. And you guys did choose the Tarot of the She. Okay, so guys, this pile, first of all, I want to just note that you guys have past, present, future, and parallel. So you guys are like, time is like definitely a major theme here in your pile, with the galactic heritage cards. I do want to point out, for you guys in this pile, you guys are definitely on the path to accomplish something very great and very important for the time in which you are alive. Okay. Many of you may not feel like you have much to offer the world. You may be thinking, well, what is it that I possibly could have to offer the world? And maybe that's a question of discipline, because we have the discipline card out here and it says exert authority, define. It's time to take the bull by the horns, create a strategy, mobilize forces. And then we also have the 8 of Cups, which says escaping stagnation. And then we have the 6 of Swords, insight's voyage. Both are cards of moving forward, moving away from things that are no longer serving you, okay? The 6 of Swords is moving away from the 5 of Swords, which is conflict, chaos, ego battles. And then the 8 of Cups is moving away from something that you may have been emotionally invested in. But it does come after the 7 of Cups. And usually in the 7 of Cups, we're presented with many different options. It can also be a card of daydreaming and fantasy. But we have to know when to walk away from the people, places, and things that are no longer serving our lives in a positive way. And not saying that you can't disagree with certain people and they still add value to your life. This would be those relationships, those jobs, those places where you feel deep down in your soul sick to your stomach, continuing to entertain or give energy to those things. And for one reason or another, and it's usually not coming from your higher self, you choose to stay stuck in those situations, usually out of comfort, out of familiarity. Sometimes it's out of codependency. Sometimes it's people pleasing. Sometimes it's money. Sometimes it's comfort, familiarity. Sometimes it's our own family, okay? And so it is hard to just say, I'm done, and, you know, I'm going to just from now on move forward and to the next chapter of my life. And I know that next chapter does not include these people, this job, this place, okay? But whatever it is, it's the one thing that is keeping you feeling stagnant, and it's the one thing that's making you feel like your life is bleak and grim and just unexciting, okay, at the moment. You can change this, okay? You can move forward and you don't have to stay stuck, okay? And we have a lot of Sagittarian energy out here. So that does indicate travel and expansiveness, whether it's expanding the mind, expanding your spirituality, expanding your environment, expanding your family. But it's usually with Sagittarius, it's usually traveling places or learning new things, philosophies. And I feel like once you move from the space that you are in now, whether it be mentally or physically, spiritually, emotionally, you are going to feel the weight lifted off your shoulders. You're going to feel that the possibilities for you are out there. And we literally have, the world is filled with possibilities here with the visionary. It's just the people that you guys surround yourself with in pile number 2, they make you feel small. And I know that you feel this. And maybe for the longest time, you thought that was your own energy, that you are small, that you cannot do X, Y, and Z, that you will never succeed in X, Y, and Z. But that's not your energy, pile number 2. You have, like, I'm just hearing leeches, and I'm hearing parasites, like, and I'm seeing people with their hands just grabbing at you. So I feel like it's more than one person, pile number 2, and I feel like at times you feel like you just can't get away from these nagging energies, like they're just constantly grabbing at you, and they're constantly trying to force you to do certain things or believe certain things for control. But you're stuck here because of these parasites. Don't allow these people to suck on and drain your energy continuously. Don't allow this to continue to happen. You have to move on from whatever this is, okay? And I do want to point out here, and again, I'm hearing that song, that J. Cole song. This is the second time that song has come out in a reading. Deja Vu, I think it is. Cause I can see the promised land, but I can't do no promising. And I know you were made for me. I don't know the rest of the lyrics. I don't even know if those were the lyrics, but that's like, when I hear, like, when I see this, I'm thinking of like the promised land. But this person here, and when he says in the song, I can see the promised land, but I can't do no promising, it's like someone fears, or they're just, it's crazy because I kept picturing like people with their hands out, like grabbing at someone, and I didn't realize that in this card there literally are hands grabbing at this individual. And there is one particular person in the background here who looks like they're like in despair, crying out for this person. They know that this person is leaving, but you see how this energy here is gaining color the more they move out of this water, okay? For some of you guys, it could be just emotional turmoil, being emotionally dumped on by other people constantly, to the point where you can't really take a time to think for yourself what's right for you. And, you know, these people may weigh you down with guilt as well, shame. How dare you go off and live your life? How dare you go off and be happy? Do you see all this suffering behind you? What's wrong with you? But you can't help anybody. Listen, you can't help anybody if you're in the trenches with them. That's what people don't understand. It's like, do you want me to help you really? Or do you just want someone to accompany you in your misery? Because I can't do anything for you in the state I'm in now. I can't help you if I'm on the same level as you, okay? And I'm hearing misery loves company. So a lot of times these people, places, things, it could be jobs, people you work with, how can you leave? You know, we need people, you know, the company isn't doing well. I don't know, these are just examples, but, and you would know exactly what situation this applies to you, but it's like the people that you're surrounded by, they can't help themselves. And the one thing that can make them feel better about their own situation is if they can get you to stay with them, to stay in their comfort them or accompany them in their misery. But and I feel like there's one person in particular who is very quiet about their suffering. This person may, oh, this is intuitive. This person doesn't really show their unhappiness. They may lash out. They may do and say things to keep you confused or in a state of confusion, so that you can't move forward. That's how someone may be keeping someone in stagnation here. But they're not outright saying, you know, I'm suffering mentally, I'm having a lot of trouble believing in my own self, I don't feel like I can make it out of this situation, and I just need someone here to be miserable with me, essentially. They're not gonna outright say that. This is someone who's literally like in the shadows, hoping that you don't catch on to what they're actually doing. And they see you moving away, and they almost feel hopeless, is what I'm getting with this this person in the background here, the expression on their face. It's like they're watching you, and I'm wanting to say she, it could be a feminine energy, male or female. They're watching you leave. And I feel like this person doesn't want to do too much, because too much may blow their cover. But they're losing hope and they're losing faith, and they may be trying to use their sorrow as a guilt trip, or their current state of being as a guilt trip for wanting you to stay around. Man, guys, there's definitely an energy around you who is trying to make you feel bad for wanting more for yourself, for wanting to experience real happiness. Because this person is suffering themselves very deeply. And like I said, and this came out in a previous reading, man, where it's like someone just cannot see the light at the end of the tunnel for themselves. And maybe it's because they're too focused on you. That's another thing here, because if you look at this person in this card, they're focused on this person, this individual leaving this body of water. But there's a whole sun out there, and they're not getting any of the sun. But I feel like they're purposely, well, not purposely, but subconsciously, they're blocking their own blessings because they're focused on another individual. And they don't realize that. It's like you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel because pile number 2 is blocking it, and they're blocking it because you've placed them there. Like at some point you have to realize that you are responsible for your own happiness. And, you know, no amount of trying to dim someone else's light or make someone else suffer with you is ever going to change what you're feeling internally. This is definitely a bad case of an energetic vampire. This is a classic case. This is an energy vampire. Okay? They were hoping you'd stay with them in this grief and this misery, that they could somehow get you to sink to the bottom with them, to feel the depths of their despair and hopelessness along with them. But I feel like pile number 2, similar to pile 1, where pile 1 I feel like is very resilient. They don't give up very easily. I feel like you guys don't give up very easily. And so yeah, you may wallow in misery. You may have friends or connections, family members that you want to help out, you know, and you may stick around longer than you know you should because you feel like you can't help them, right? But some people literally put themselves in situations where they need help just so that they can distract other people from meeting their own goals and going on their own mission. Sometimes it's a ploy. Sometimes people will sacrifice their own selves so that you won't grow, so that you won't disconnect from them. We have to be very discerning, you know, when we're helping people. Is this person helping themselves? If so, in what ways? Can I see it? Or is it just something they're saying? and there's no actual indication of this person actually working on themselves or wanting to even do better for themselves, in that case, you know, you can almost guarantee that this person is strategically trying to waste your time. Okay. I do feel like it's multiple people for you guys in this pile, but I do feel like there's one energy in specific who has really centered their entire life around you guys in this pile, and is or has done almost anything in their power to keep you stuck and stagnant. Okay. Okay, so then we have the Six of Swords, and the Six of Swords is another energy of moving on, moving to calmer waters. In this particular deck, I want you to pay attention to the artwork and the description of the card. It says Insight's Voyage. So this is when you've got some wisdom, okay? Maybe going through the Five of Swords, ego battles, arguments, okay? You've gained some sort of insight. And this is allowing your intuition, fate, the universe, God, source, creator, whatever you believe in, to push you forward to where you are meant to go. You have to understand that this boat is being manned, is being driven or controlled by spirit. And sometimes we have to let go and have faith that where we're headed is so much better, so much more meaningful than where we've been. We have to have the courage to let go of what has been, though, in order to get to the other side, the promised land, if you will. You guys do have like a lot of past life karma, I feel like, in this pile, because we have unfinished business here, and we have Sirius coming out. I do want to grab the book on that one, though. The ancient Syrians believed that they left some things unfinished. Mostly this has to do with the evolution of the human race. Many of these ancient beings have incarnated as humans now in order to complete the task they feel were left undone. Other serious beings are helping from the unseen realms. If you feel that you have unfinished business in your life or a nagging feeling that you are supposed to do something, pay attention to what that is teaching you about self-acceptance. What that is teaching you about self-acceptance. The lesson is that you are complete in every moment. If you are supposed to do something, then it would be done. I feel like, because look at this, guys. This energy is showing up on top of this energy here. And we're going to get into this one and how it relates to this. But look at this energy. We have discipline under this Eight of Cups, the Six of Swords. We have the Atlantean area, unfinished business, right? I feel like you guys feel like you owe these people or this situation or this past version of yourself something. Like, I didn't finish something, like I need to do something here. But like the book states, you are complete in every moment, okay? And the Eight of Cups and the Six of Swords is not going to come out for this energy if it's not something that was meant to be left behind. The fact that it's coming out means that there is something that you need to move away from, pile number 2. It wouldn't just be coming out for no reason. Now, some of you guys may lack the discipline or the strategy needed in order to move away successfully. Maybe it's time you take some time out, right? Take that energy that these people are trying to take from you, take that energy back, and take some time to yourself to figure out a strategy, figure out a plan. How am I going to move away from this? Okay, and then we have the Atlantean era, which is past energy. And I want to read this. This era, spanning approximately the past 13,000 years, represents the masculine principle in a planetary cycle. This cycle is often represented by polarity, war, ignorance, and confusion about spiritual identity. It is a time of darkness and sleep. Humanity is moving out of this cycle now, i.e. Christianity. Don't mean to offend anybody, but the way Christianity is practiced today versus its original roots, it's so far off, okay? Do not be discouraged by what you see around you. Consider it a sign that humanity is awakening again. You have many significant lives in this era and are releasing karmic patterns that you've held for a very long time. Continue your spiritual work. Free yourself. This card asks you to examine your own life and beliefs. Do you feel more comfortable with one polarity more than another? Ultimately, our spiritual evolution depends on our ability to integrate these internal polarities as a first priority. Only then do we see the external polarities healing as a result. Look at the other cards to add dimension as to how this card fits into the whole message of your reading. Okay. Since this is with the unfinished business card here, there is definitely a cycle that you have found yourself trapped in. I don't know how many lifetimes, but they're saying lifetimes, for lifetimes. And there has been an energetic parasite that has inhabited multiple people within your lifetime. Multiple people who have been in your life. They've been possessed by whatever this parasitic energy is. It's almost like like Neo in the Matrix is one example. I was hearing another one, but I can't. They're saying Jesus, but I don't want to compare this to the story of Jesus. Maybe we'll even take it there. But the bottom line is you are the hero in your own story. The question is, are you going to allow other people, circumstances, beliefs about yourself to prevent you from taking full control over your own life? Or are you going to take your power back finally and take the necessary action towards freeing yourself from the things that make you feel small? Because I do see a lot of success in this pile. It's just, look at this. We have new paradigm and complete surrender over here. I did not lay these cards out this way on purpose, okay? It's just how they came out. With illusion and trickster here, I do feel like you guys have been under some sort of an illusion, placed on you by someone who is not very trustworthy. This person is very deceptive. I feel like this is a cycle that you've been in with this person for a very, very, very long time. And sometimes people are put on our paths, or this parasitic energy for you guys in specific, to test us, to challenge us. It's an ultimate lesson. I feel like this is the ultimate lesson for you guys in this lifetime, is this parasitic energy. And I do feel like it's manifested in multiple people. I'm feeling like Neo in the Matrix. If you guys haven't watched that movie, you guys should watch it. If it's been a while, you should watch it again, because I feel like you guys may benefit from watching that movie again. It's like you have a lot of Agent Smiths around you. And you guys are unaware because you want to help people. Like, you genuinely care about people. However, these people don't care about you. They're agents to prevent you from awakening, to prevent you from living your best life. And it's up to you to finally put an end to that. Okay, so we have celebration. A positive outcome is assured. Celebrate your success. Enjoy your achievements. The world is filled with possibilities. Inventive, expansive, wise, insightful, enthusiastic, curious, courageous, philanthropic. And that energy of philanthropy, I feel like there's something very strong in you guys. And I feel like the people who are around you, who are trying to stop you, play on this energy you have of wanting to help people. It's very important, guys. We all have weaknesses. We all have to be real with our weaknesses. That way we become self-aware, and then the less likely other people can use their knowledge of our weaknesses against us, because we know who we are. But if we don't know who we are, or we don't want to accept who we are, it's easier for people to learn our weaknesses and then use them against us. So if we are good-hearted people and we're always wanting the best for other people, and we have this sacrificial belief about ourselves that we have to sacrifice ourselves for other people to be happy, because whatever, you know, that's programming. I had that programming myself. A lot of people, a lot of Black Americans, Native Americans, Indigenous people in general have that programming of being a sacrifice, having to sacrifice themselves for other people, and not in a positive way, but in a way where it's like you're constantly giving your power away to people who don't deserve that energy, okay? And then it gets us trapped in a karmic cycle where it never ends, because these people are never satisfied, they're never happy. Okay, so on top of all that, because this is supposed to be who you're meant to be, on top of like the trickster, dragonfly, what have you, you guys have very profound prophetic dreams, especially with the visionary, Jupiter, illusion, and temperance card here. Okay, you guys need to begin to have the faith in your ability to create from your dreams, or draw inspiration from your dreams, because your dreams are ultimately showing you the possibilities, okay? And then we have trickster here, and I'm getting like a resourceful type of energy from this pile with the trickster. I feel like you are someone who is very, very resourceful, and that is why there are so many parasitic energies that want to latch onto you. And I know this is earthy energy, but I'm getting a very strong masculine energy with that resourcefulness, male or female, doesn't matter. It's like people know they can rely on you, and it takes the burden and the pressure off of them needing to figure things out on their own, if they can just rely on you to figure it out for them. I'm getting like strong emotional dumping, like someone just going off the rails and blaming you for every failure they've had in their life, even if it has zero to do with you. And a lot of the issues these people have had have existed far before you, okay? And you're just an extension of whatever issue that was they haven't dealt with to begin with, okay? But I feel like there's someone here who does not want to do the work on themselves. They do not want to figure things out for themselves. They want to latch on or leech off of someone else, okay? Energetically, financially, emotionally, it doesn't matter in what way, okay? They don't want to figure something out on their own. Okay, so on this card, it says, if Dingo has blundered his way into your cards today, you may be in need of stabilization. Perhaps you need to develop a greater sense of responsibility and a more practical or conscientious outlook on life. Are you oblivious to the hazards that are thwarting your true capabilities? Are you fooling yourself that you are precisely on course? Are you overly trusting and a little naive? Should you rethink things? Reassess your current direction and return to your original game plan, perhaps? Like everybody, you have probably made many mistakes. It is now time to learn from them. You cannot expect your life to improve or serve you well when you insist on employing the same strategy with every new adventure you embark on. If you wish to experience new things, try approaching life with a more grounded, practical view instead of being misguided by whim and fancy. And this same energy came out for pile number 3 when I was shuffling the cards and getting cards out for them. So you guys may want to watch pile number 3. I don't know what's going to come out for pile number 3 yet, but there was this energy of being careful of being too excited about things when you don't have all the information yet. Okay. Taking a leap of faith towards something or someone without having all the facts. Okay. Just being mindful of when you're just acting a little too excited. You may just be a little too enamored by the outside appearance of things, the promise of something, and not really looking at it in a realistic manner. Okay. Crossing all your T's, dotting all your I's. And I feel like that's also where discipline is coming in. Okay. But the dingo also did speak on learning from past mistakes. So I feel like this is the old, and I do feel like a lot of you guys are still there. You may be trying to work through this, and maybe this reading is what you needed to hear in order to snap out of it. But there is an energy here of you guys being stuck in some sort of karmic cycle, a karma loop, where you are constantly experiencing the same things with different people. Okay. And a lot of you guys may be able to attach certain faces, certain people, certain feelings, okay, certain beliefs to these karmic cycles. And those are the things that you are needing to cut out in order to move forward. If you can recognize the pattern and recognize the whys, you can begin towards healing those things. But for this pile, you guys need discipline, guys. When I opened up the reading and I was just giving a general introduction on the piles, I did mention about Aleister Crowley's life. You guys may want to look into Aleister Crowley and how he lived his life. While he may have been, it was a curiosity that led him down the path he was in, and it may not have always been ill-intentioned. I honestly don't think it was ill-intentioned at all. I think it was more the curiosity thing. But who knows? I don't know that man. But his life was a little unhinged, okay? There was a lack of structure. There was a lack of discipline, which ultimately led him to dying alone with no money, okay? As unthrilling or unexciting as it may sound to have a plan, a sound, concrete plan on which to build your life, it doesn't always sound exciting, but sometimes that is the sacrifice. We have to sacrifice somewhere to get to the promised land. If you're not willing or wanting to make that sacrifice somewhere early on, then at the end, you are going to end up paying for it, okay? That expression, laugh now, cry later, it has merit. It comes from somewhere. You can focus on having fun now and satisfying the ego and being a people pleaser and doing what other people want you to do in order to obtain the status quo or whatever it is. It's going to be different for different people, but you know, that's keeping you content, satisfied in the moment. But you do have those moments within the chaos where you know that like how you're living is not going to sustain you in the long term. And it's a matter of, do I want to continue down this path even though I know it's not going to ultimately land me where I want to go? Or do I heed the signs and make the necessary changes now? As I have a problem with this as well, so don't think I'm just lecturing you guys. Yeah, so we have to be privy to the illusions of the enemy. They're going to play on your ego. They're going to play on your desires, pleasure, and they're always going to persuade you to put that first and think about the consequences later. And that never works the way we think it's going to work out. It never does. Especially if we're doing something we know we shouldn't be doing. Because now you know better and you're choosing to be ignorant. Okay, so like the butterfly, dragonfly embodies the regenerative powers of rebirth. If Dragonfly has darted into your cards today, you are being urged to break through self-endorsed limitations that hinder your development and growth. Look at yourself and acknowledge the illusions that may have woven around yourself as a form of protection. Ask yourself if these illusions were put in place to prevent you from seeing a truth or to prevent others from seeing the real you. Have you started believing in your own deception and a falsity created originally to protect your sense of security or self-esteem? Your view of the world may be restricted by your tainted perception of what is real and what is not, and as a result, the view the rest of the world has of you may also be unfairly tainted. Okay, and then we have the ladybug. You are a bright energy, let worry go, and be happy here and now. Feel good about being a loving and colorful you. You bless the world with color and good luck. And then we have Temperance, and we have the Queen of Wands. So, what I would like to say, pile number 2, is we should really start using this air energy, the dragonfly energy, the visionary energy, the temperance energy, to start cultivating the life we imagine for ourselves. And we have to get out of the energy of convincing ourselves of limitations and putting these limitations on ourselves for what we can and cannot achieve. I don't care where these beliefs come from. We have to find a way to work around these beliefs, okay, and get them out of the forefront of our mind when we're making decisions, because all it's going to do is continue to lead us down a path that is unfulfilling. You guys are full of good luck. You're full of vibrant energy, full of vitality. You guys are a beacon of light to the people you have in your life, and that is why so many people want to grab onto you and have you and keep you and drain your energy. Okay, you have to recognize that for what it is. It's not because you're unworthy. These people will latch onto you and convince you're unworthy so that you don't go anywhere. It's not because you are not unworthy. If you were unworthy, if you were a bad person like they say you are, they wouldn't feel the need to latch onto you. Okay, we have to get that straight. We have to see manipulative people for who and what they are, okay, or bad, low vibrational people for who and what they are. It has nothing to do with us and everything to do with whatever trauma that person has yet to work through or deal with, okay? But you have this high vibrational energy already dwelling within yourself, but I do feel like you have moments, a lot of moments, where you doubt that energy, you doubt your ability to make things happen. But you guys in this pile, I want to tell you that you guys are so brilliant and resourceful. You guys make things work with things that most people would not even begin to, know how to maneuver or work around, okay? And that's a gift, okay? That is a gift. And you guys are so full of energy, full of vibrancy, okay? You bring out the best in people when you're around them. And I just feel like a lot of you guys in this pile don't really know the true value of yourself, okay? The great work, it's attention, devotion. In the distance, promising purpose, achievement, and understanding. When will we get there? When will our efforts be recognized? Amidst the pressure and expectations, we come to realize alchemist's life is an accumulation of moments in which attention is placed upon a subject within the laboratory. The artist draws a single line. The poet scribes a single word. The rose forms a single leaf. The magnum opus card reminds us that the alchemical garden grows from seeds tended to by devoted hands and the grace of sun, water, and earth. You cannot force the great work. You cannot claim it or complete it. This card arrives to whisper words of encouragement. You are in the right place, the most important place for you. This is the alchemical garden. Tend to the youngest growth. Tend to the youngest growth. Be delicate and precise. look at and read about conceptual artist on Kawara's work. That's spelled Kawara, particularly the Today's series and 1 Million Years. If one claims to be working on their magnum opus, it's likely they are not. The alchemist knows that the great work occurs without realizing it, as it's a collaboration with the divine. Okay, so that was a lot, and my ADHD just kind of like made me forget about all of it. Okay, but what I do want to highlight here is attention, devotion, and, you know, purpose, achievement, understanding, and devotion again, because we have discipline here. Okay, you guys have really great ideas. Like, your mind is very powerful in this pile, and what you think, you manifest almost instantly. You can call anything to you and it'll come to you. The thing is, you really should work on cultivating the devotion, the discipline necessary to maintain the things that you're trying to call towards you, because I feel like for a lot of you guys in this pile, you may get the things that you think that you want a lot, and then you realize for some of you guys that it's not what you want actually, that you're manifesting from a place of ego, and or you get it, you realize you do want it, but you are unable to maintain it. Okay, and that's because of the lack of discipline, okay, the lack of focus. And we don't want to have, like, the greatest tragedy, well, one of the greatest tragedies is having this potent genius mind that is capable of creating and sustaining all of these situations and being resourceful and creating ideas and having all of these great grand visions and dreams and things, and not being able to implement them or take action on them, or not being able to maintain them once we manifest them, due to our lack of discipline, lack of foresight. Okay, in this pile, you guys really need to work on your focus and your intention, as well as your discipline, and surrendering to the universe, surrendering to the divine, as it was noted here. And then we have complete surrender there. So being able to put an idea out there, like the card says for the great work, it's like it's sustained by devoted hands, devoted caring hands, but also the sun, the earth, and water. I believe that's what it said. So the earth, or creation, the universe, is helping you to manifest, but you also play a part and in the manifestation of whatever it is by how you tend to whatever it is you're trying to grow. Okay, you don't just plant the seed, okay, water it a little bit, you see it sprout, okay, I'm gonna go on a vacation for 1 month, and hopefully when I come back it's still in pristine condition and healthy. No, you have to sacrifice. Maybe I'm not gonna go on that vacation for 1 month until I get my my tomato plant to grow and I can harvest some tomatoes off of it. That's just an example, a stupid example, but realizing when we do that, okay, we call something and we want to manifest something, we finally manifest it, and then we don't have the discipline to keep up with it. Okay, all right, so I want to read surrender, complete surrender. Okay, so this one says, for eons, the ancient Lyrans applied the masculine principle of pushing or forcing reality to conform to their desires. In order to transform, they eventually had to surrender, to let go of the need for control and trust the universe to be as it needs to be in every moment. This was a hard lesson for the Lyrans, as it is for you. You, like most humans, have a karmic pattern of trying to control reality. It is time now to change that pattern. Practice trusting and surrendering to the universe on a daily basis, even with small things. As you do this, you begin to heal this ancient karmic pattern. And then we have new paradigm. Let's see. Every culture adheres to a specific paradigm of reality. Earth's paradigm has to do with polarity. And what card was it where we were talking about polarities? I think it was the Atlantean era, where we have to combine the polarities. The Andromedan paradigm is about experiencing the unexpected and being in a constant state of change. When we are in foreign terrain where we don't know the rules, we have to use our own we have to use our inner compasses to navigate. We all have one, but few know how to use it. This card tells you that change is coming, both to your planet and to your individual life. Learn now how to operate in a foreign paradigm by accessing that inner compass. Your evolution can be not only painless, but joyous, okay? Change is gonna happen regardless, guys. It's up to us how we experience that change. Are we going to sit and sulk and dwell and hold on to dear life to the things that we don't want to let go of, or the things we don't want to change, whether it's about ourselves, our circumstances, our place of work, our place of living? Change is going to happen inevitably. And it's up to us to go along with that change. Nothing is set in stone. Pile number 2, nothing is set in stone, and whatever you want in this lifetime, you have the power to manifest, okay? But do you have the power and the discipline to upkeep it? That's the biggest question, okay? You guys need to work more on trusting your intuition, because that came out strongly with the Dreamer 6, and it was just reconfirmed with the new paradigm, and then complete surrender again. So learning how to trust that voice within, that it knows where you want to go, what it is you want to experience, and why. It already knows that. All you have to do is trust the direction you're getting from it. Our ego wants to hold tightly to what the things that we think we desire, the things that we think we want, until, you know, those things show their ugly faces and we realize, hey, that was not actually manifested from a space of love. It didn't come from my heart. It came from wanting to appear a certain way to someone else, or it came from wanting to prove somebody wrong, or to show my family that I can be successful, or that I can do X, Y, and Z, and I'm not a failure. No, we have to manifest from a place of, I'm doing this because it makes me feel fulfilled. It makes me feel complete. It makes me happy. And when we're in that space, we can continue to manifest great things, versus when we're in our ego and we hit a brick wall and we're still trying to push our way through that brick wall, and then we ultimately end up becoming stagnant and we're feeling stuck because it's not budging. That wall isn't budging, and it's not meant to you because you're not supposed to be on that path, okay? Spirit is trying to redirect you when you hit that brick wall, okay? So I also wanted to touch on the Queen of Wands and the Temperance card here, which is very strong fire energy with Sagittarius, Leo, Aries. Yeah, that's all three. Who you are meant to become is this powerful, confident leader who is fully capable of taking on these huge projects, whether it's in your individual life or on a grand scale, and having the necessary tenacity and discipline to see these things through, okay? You're going to manifest great things in your life, pile number 2, but you first have to let go of this belief, whatever that belief is that has you hanging on to and clutching onto the past, because the past is done, okay? The only thing the past is doing for you now is keeping you stuck in a karmic cycle that is leaving you feeling unfulfilled, okay? Once you break out of that, once you break out of the illusion that you are not enough, that you have to sacrifice yourself in order to be worthy, in order to be of value to anyone, once you let go of that illusion, you can then move on to do great things in your life. And I feel like that is what you are meant to do here. You are under undergoing an alchemical process right now with a great work, and you don't realize it. The card did say, you know, if someone does say that they're working on their magnum opus, they're probably not. It's something that we're unconscious of, we're not aware of. Okay. It happens when we're least expecting it. Okay. It's constantly happening, if you will. The great work is constantly happening. It's evolution, it's self-realization, it's self-discovery. It's happening on a consistent basis with every action. And every time we take a second to reflect back on those actions, we are self-actualizing. Okay. All right. So I think that's pretty much what I'm getting for you guys. I want to take a look at this Temperance card here, just to see if I can get any more messages. Yeah, you guys are being divinely guided and protected, but you know, even when we're being divinely guided and protected, you know, sometimes the universe, God, source, creator, or our guardian angels, you know, they can only help us but so much. They can only point us in the right direction for so long and for so much before, you know, I don't want to say they give up, but, you know, they kind of just take a step back and allow us to, you know, fall and bump our head to realize, I probably shouldn't have done that. I probably shouldn't have gone down that path. Okay. Sometimes they'll let us do it because we need to learn that lesson of ignoring our intuition. Okay. Your dreams are not too big. Pile number 2. Your dreams are perfect for who you are. You have everything you need to manifest and sustain your dreams. It is all up to you. And moving into this new paradigm of self-belief, of self-mastery, of self-discovery, self-sufficiency, and leaving behind the codependency, leaving behind the need to sacrifice in order to feel worthy, leaving behind the need or desire, the feeling to want to help people who cannot help themselves or do not want to help themselves. And sacrificing yourself in the process. We're leaving behind anything that does not serve us, anything and anyone that does not serve us. Okay, we're moving into this era where we are now focused and disciplined, and we're working with the universe to manifest the life that we want, with full confidence that we are on the right path. Okay, once we leave behind what needs to be left behind. Okay, so pile number 2, that has been your reading. If you resonated with it, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you are interested in booking a personal reading, energy healing session, or anything like that, you can visit my website. It is going to be linked in the description box down below. I hope to see you guys on another reading. Bye. Hello, pile number 3, people. Those of you who have chosen the Aleister Crowley deck with the aquamarine crystal, this is going to be your reading. Let's take a look at who you are meant to be, or who you are meant to become. Okay, so first of all, we have the Sun card showing up right there at the very top. Which is a good sign, I do believe. Let me pull out my book. Expression, vitality, identity. Each morning, the sun graces the night sky, summoning the dawn. Such is the energy of the Sun card. With its arrival is an activation and a presence of vitality, of new beginnings. It is said the sun is linked to the hero archetype and the yang dynamic in the Chinese alchemy. Through the sun's radiance, we are inclined to see ourselves fully and establish a sense of who we are. We gain confidence and clearer vision. In its light, we are assured that we too have an important role in the world. Associated with masculine dynamics, the Sun card certainly carries a risk of if not kept in check. Remember, the sun never actually sets. I can't talk today, guys. It's the earth that pivots away. Assess whether it's time for you to awaken more fully or turn away and rest. Sunburns humble us all. Read the poem Still I Rise by Maya Angelou. And consider how reliable the sun is. It does the same work every day. In what way can you be more consistent in your rhythms? How reliable are you? All right, that kind of does sound like the previous pile. pile number 2. We talked about discipline, devotion, consistency in pile number 2. So if you do want to check it out, maybe for more messages, I would recommend also watching pile number 2 if you want more messages. Okay, so the fact that we have the sun, and then we have illumination here, and then we have I believe this is the strength card, which is usually there's a lion. I do believe this is a lion in this card. And then we have Leo. No, that is not the world card. I take that back. But we do have the sun, Leo, and then illumination here, which to me, illumination is like the sun. You're giving light to something. And then we have the lion here. So you guys for sure definitely could have like Leo placements in your chart, especially Vedic, because we have the 108. And 108 is a very significant number in Eastern religion and Eastern spirituality. It was just brought to my attention when I went to go buy a ring. It was my birthstone peridot, and the price of the ring was $108 even. And the lady who rung me out did mention the significance of that number, and I was like, wow, okay. I did lose that ring, $108, and I lost it. But that number, you guys may want to look it up and see the significance, or what you may find that may be of significance to you on your journey after looking that number up. Okay, so all right, who you are meant to become, pile number 3. I do feel like in this pile, you guys are going to overcome a lot of temptation, a lot of low vibrational energy in your life. You could have gone through an era of your life where you were especially codependent, addicted to certain things, people, places, things. Escapism could have been very strong. You guys could have been using relationships to escape your reality, to distract you from your own life. Okay, that's for a small percentage of you guys, or maybe it's for a lot of you guys. But I do get that someone here may have been using people to distract themselves from their own life. Okay. But we do have the strength card, and it's paired with the Queen of Swords, and I do like to see that energy. Okay, and we do have anger like right next to that though. So what I'm getting with this is you guys may definitely have gone through a time in your life where you were, I want to say, manipulated a lot. May not have had the best of luck in committed relationships, or just relationships in general. And I do feel like that's kind of where this anger may have stemmed from. These relationships could have been any type, familial, platonic, romantic. Safely express your anger. Use anger as a positive force. Honor all of your emotions as sacred. I do feel like whatever these experiences are that led to the heartbreak, the anger, we're ultimately guiding you back to yourself, with the Sun card there. And also, I do like to state people who are very passionate, we have to learn how to channel that passion. Where does that passion really want to go? Okay, because it usually wants to go somewhere. But when it's bottled up for so long, or even just for a little bit of time, you know, and we get angry that one time, it kind of just comes spilling all over and out, all over, and gets all over everyone who's in close proximity, right? We want to figure out where that passion really needs to go, or really should go. Sometimes, you know, a lot of passionate people are very creative, or we have this innate desire to create. It doesn't matter what it is. We're always in the state of wanting to create something, okay? Wanting to be connected to people in some form of fashion, and usually it's through our creations, okay? Now, I do feel like you guys in this pile have gone through the ringer, okay? I'm not sure what situations it's going to be for everybody in this pile, but I do feel like it has to do with your connections with other people, okay? I feel like there was a lot of disappointment, a lot of, for some of you guys, there could just have been a lot of connections that shouldn't have happened, connections that you may have regret, connections that were formed or created out of lust, out of ego attachments, materialism, and things like that, things that just did not align with who you truly were, like your soul. And I think you were meant to learn lessons from connecting with people just solely based on the passion, desire, and or, you know, physical aspects, like what can this person do for me financially, or, you know, if you're in a codependent energy, what can they do for me emotionally, or mentally to distract myself from what I have going on in my current life that I'm unhappy with, okay? And ultimately it was to lead you back to trusting and relying on yourself so that you can attract healthy, balanced relationships where there's equal give and take, and you're not relying on that person for your happiness or to distract you from the unhappiness you're feeling in your day-to-day life, okay? With blind enthusiasm here, oh my gosh, we have 2 Pleiades cards for this pile. So you guys could definitely have strong Pleiadian energy guiding you. You could have past lives there in the Pleiadian star system. Blind enthusiasm says a habitual pattern of the Pleiades when they were a young species was to become very excited about an idea and implement it without thinking it through. What are the far-reaching implications of these actions? Who benefits and who is hurt? Take a good look at the times you may have done this in your current life. In the eyes of the universe, there are no mistakes. However, everyone has the responsibility to see beyond their own excitement, to try to make choices that support the whole rather than simply the ego's desires. I'm getting like the all that glitters is gold syndrome, where just because something looks good, just because someone's talking to us in the right way, making these promises or whatever, we jump on that, and we don't necessarily weigh the implications of the actions we may take, you know, in that moment, just being blinded by the enthusiasm we feel towards that person, the situation, or an opportunity that presents itself. With imbalance and positive polarity, and I'm getting kind of the same energy with the blind enthusiasm. It's kind of like just thinking too positively all the time and not having a realistic approach when it comes to certain situations. And the ancient Pleiadian history, one of the core lessons of the species had to do with denying the shadow side within. They only wanted to focus on the positive and habitually suppress their dark aspects. It is important to recognize and embrace all aspects, dark and light. In your life now, try to see where you suppress the darkness inside, such as emotions or pain that you don't want to feel. See it, love it, and dialogue with it. Use it as a part of your growth. In doing so, you will heal many old habits and patterns from lifetimes past, on Earth and in the stars. Okay, and I feel that like that energy is also coming into play where we're using people or we're using situations, and we can be blind, like we get enthusiastic because we feel like our life sucks or we feel like we're missing something in life, right? And so we're constantly trying to hide from these negative aspects within ourselves that may be making us feel this emptiness or making us feel unhappy with our lives. And we keep thinking that it's going to go away with people, it's going to go away with experiences, it's going to go away with places and things. And, you know, the more I can acquire, the less I'll have to think about what's actually bothering me. And then we try to shove down these negative aspects of ourselves, if you will. It could just be strong emotions that we're not wanting to face, okay? And instead of facing them, we distract ourselves with these events and these people and these places and these things that don't end up fulfilling us in the end, because we're choosing them for the wrong reasons, okay? Okay, so I do feel like in this pile, you guys are meant to overcome the low vibrational energy within yourself. We literally have like the strength card and the devil for me go hand in hand, because the strength card with the devil means that we are fighting temptations, we are fighting urges, and we are winning the battle. Temptations and urges could also be anger as well. Because the lion, the strength card in general represents taming that beast within ourselves, not with blunt force, but with kindness and compassion that speaks of in this imbalance and positive polarity card. We have to be kind and gentle and compassionate towards those parts of ourselves that we are unhappy with, okay? And that's how we tame that inner beast, okay, with the strength card. Now in the devil card as well, usually there's like a couple that are chained to the devil, but here there's like just a bunch of people. So I do feel like there was like maybe some like promiscuity in this pile. Doesn't have to be but yeah, definitely could be like sex addiction there or something like that. I feel like some of you guys felt like that was part of your identity for a very long time, is just to be this player or playgirl and not seriously commit. A lot of you guys felt like that was a stable key part in your identity, because we have Aries showing up again, and then that's the energy I was getting with the sun as well. Aries and Capricorn energy out there. Okay, and then we come to the Queen of Swords. I do see that you guys are meant to become this strong person, essentially. I know it sounds pretty cliche, but you're going to become someone who is very strong in themselves, very strong in their identity, who they are, what they believe in, what they don't believe in. And there's so much passion within you guys in this pile. Like, there's so much fire out here. I don't think you guys understand. Like, you guys are very passionate people in this pile. And I do feel like at some point you are going to find that thing that your passion would benefit from, okay, and pour into. But with the Queen of Swords, I do feel like you're going to reach a point in your life where, you know, you are now at the space where you can cut people, places, and things out of your life that are no longer serving you. Whereas maybe there was a point in your life where you felt dependent on people a lot. Okay, so with the strategist card here, it says every vision has a plan, high achieving, productive, calculating, passionate, again, decisive, ambitious, enthusiastic, systematic, competitive, active, tactical, goal-oriented, persistent, and gritty. So this is what I'm talking about, guys. This is what I'm talking about. Giving plans to your vision. And then using that passionate, ambitious, that need to create energy, channeling that into the things that really fulfill you, whether it's a relationship with a certain person, career, your finances, maybe a combination of all, family, all that stuff. Just choosing to pour your focus into those things, that only into the things that light your soul on fire, that fulfill your soul, not your ego. That's when you get success. That's when things start to flow so much easier for you, when you're doing that versus fighting against the currents of the river, or just fighting against the currents constantly, because your ego wants to go a certain way, but your soul is crying out, literally, because it's not happy. Okay, so we have companionship. It says friendliness, mutual respect, shared goals, interdependence. Listen to that. Interdependence, not codependence. Agreement, strengthening bonds. Okay, so I do feel like you guys are going to be coming into like communities of people who share the same values. And I do feel like there's going to be a significant partnership with you guys with this higher calling here. You guys could be on a twin flame soulmate journey, okay? But I feel like you with this companion, this your soulmate, twin flame, you guys are going to be, first of all, I'm hearing like your bond is going to be unbreakable, number one, but number two, you guys are going to be creating tribes together. Like you're going to be a part of I'm hearing affluent groups of people, very influential people who have very strong morals, people who are intellectual, intelligent, who have the same values as you do, who are going to help you with these passions that you have, this ambition that you have. After you come out of this energy of chasing your tail, constantly trying to find the next high that really means nothing in the grand scheme of things, and then shifting into an energy of, you know, now I'm going towards the things that fulfill me on a soul level, rather than just granting me this temporary satisfaction and then leaving me feeling empty and void in the end. But emptiness speaks on, you know, allowing ourselves to be empty so that we can be filled with the right things, the right information. But I want to read that card because I could be wrong. Emptiness says, imagine taking off in a plane. At first it is bumpy and the scenery is filled with many distracting things. This represents the mind. As you take off and fly through the clouds, it is like passing through the emotions. Sometimes there is bumpiness in the clouds. Eventually you will rise above the clouds and there is nothing but endless empty sky. This is your true state of consciousness, an endless empty field of awareness that contains nothing. There are no opinions or desires, only light, the Orion light within you. The sky has always existed and always will. When you recognize this, you awaken. This card is meant as an encouragement for your spiritual journey and an embrace given to you by the source itself. Surrender to the embrace, become nothing, and you will find that in nothingness, the loving fullness of creation will be all that exists. So I guess I'm kind of right. But allowing yourself to be empty of the pleasures of the world, the temporary satisfaction of worldly things. They're all temporary and fleeting, okay? And allowing yourself to be filled with the spirit of God, source, creator, Lord. Because then, only then can you begin to create from a space of authenticity and purity. When you are caught up on trying to experience a certain thing, trying to experience a certain type of relationship, trying to experience a certain type of career, or a certain wanting to live in a certain place to experience, and it's all coming from a place of ego, what it's going to look like to other people. When you're trying to manifest from that space, you know, and you wonder why you're full of anger and you can't find peace, it's because your soul is not at peace. Your soul wants something else, okay? You're not manifesting from a place of soul, of authenticity. You're manifesting from a place of ego and wanting to fit in or wanting to look a certain way. Instead of just doing what the heck lights your soul on fire and allowing the pieces to lay where they fall, where they may, okay? Because when you're following your heart, they're always going to land perfectly. And, you know, one day you just look up and it's like, wow, like I was manifesting my dream life all this time just by following my heart. And now look at what I am, or where I am. I do feel like you're going to come to this place of just complete security and fullness within yourself. And I do feel like you're going to have a person who really brings out the best in you, who helps you temper this passion that you feel. I'm hearing this rage that you feel. For some of you guys that may resonate, but you guys are going to be perfect together, almost. But I feel like it didn't get to this place without you having to learn certain lessons when it comes to following your ego. honor all of your emotions as sacred. And then we have imbalance, positive, and positive polarity, which speaks on, you know, honoring, you know, all aspects of ourselves, and not trying to deny one or several aspects, because that's unhealthy. At some point after years of suppressing all of that, it's going to show up in some way, you know, and we may lash out on someone, or do something we may regret later, because we've had all of this built up frustration, you know, that we've been trying to suppress and act like isn't there, instead of just saying or admitting to ourselves it's there and then working through it. Okay. But I feel like there's going to be a culmination point where you guys are going to explode. Okay. I'm just going to put that out there. You're going to explode. And that's going to be the turning point in your life, where you finally decide to go in a direction that is more in alignment with your soul. You're going to finally have enough of this false life. Because who you are is someone who is very strategic, guys. And I don't even think you guys realize to the extent that you are. You're a very strong, confident individual naturally. I don't care if you feel like you lack self-esteem. Naturally, in your energy, your aura, you're someone who comes across as someone who is very sure of themselves, someone very stable within their energy. Okay. And you guys literally, I feel like if you just accepted yourself fully and wholly for who and what you are, and stop trying to project what you think other people are going to think of you onto situations, and just show up as yourself every time, you guys would be unstoppable. I feel like you guys are capable of making some very powerful connections within your lifetime, just by being yourself, emptying yourself of all of the falsehoods, all of the false beliefs about yourself, about other people, about the world in general. And there is this energy of you guys needing to overcome lust. Okay. And lust can show up in many different ways. With this blind enthusiasm, like it could just be a lust for material things. It could be a lust in like a sexual way. Lust is a sin. I want you guys in this pile, if you're resonating with that part of the reading, to look up like lust as a sin, and try to figure out what that means to you on your journey, and how it's been impacting your journey in a negative way, so that you can address that. Maybe that's a part of yourself that you've tried to deny was there for a very long time, but figure out why it is, what it is that you're lusting for, truly. You know, and all of the times that you've lusted after something or someone and you've gotten it, how many times of all of those times were you actually satisfied in the end? Because we have to start, you know, looking over ourselves the same way we point fingers at other people. We have to start pointing fingers at ourselves as well. You know, what am I doing wrong? What can I be doing better? I do see an illumination of what's been holding you back, or like a clarity coming towards you. But you are going to explode, and I feel like that's going to be the purification. We have the Tasmanian devil here. And I feel like with this, like you guys are going to decide to just trash something. Like, and I feel like it's going to be an impulsive decision, but it's not a negative impulsive decision like we have with blind enthusiasm, where we're just jumping blindly into something because, you know, it looks a certain way, it sounds a certain way, and we feel like that's exactly what we need, when, you know, we don't even got our ducks in a row. Like nothing else makes sense out of these words or out of this picture. Okay. I do feel like, because this is earth energy, I feel like there's going to be some sort of mental clarity with the illumination, the cockatoo, that leads to a destruction. Because like the Tasmanian devil Remember that cartoon, the Tasmanian Devil? I don't even know if that's the name of the cartoon, but like that used to be one of my favorite cartoons. But he would like spin around and just start knocking stuff down, like destroying things. And that's kind of what I'm getting with this. Not that it's funny, but I just can see someone just going on a rampage, not in a negative way, but just like, this isn't working, this isn't working, this isn't working, this isn't working, I'm done. And just completely demolishing, you know, everything in their life that is no longer working for them, and choosing to rise up in their power and follow the calling they have on their life, which is so much more than what they've settled for. With the Lion here, it says higher calling. You have within you all the courage you need. Let go of the past and reclaim your majesty. You will find success and contentment with those by your side. Make noble choices for your life and your tribe. Oh my gosh, I didn't know that card was gonna say that. Okay, so that just like reaffirmed everything I just said about like having a companion and like doing these things and making a tribe, or like building a tribe of people. So if you are someone who feels like you haven't been accepted, or like you've had to settle for relationships and friendships and family situations with people that you know deep down didn't accept you for who you were, and feeling alone because of that, that could also be where a lot of that anger is coming from as well, feeling misunderstood. Finally coming to a place where I'm hearing you're gonna start with one person, and this one person could be like a significant person in your life already. For some of you guys, for others of you guys, you haven't met this person yet, but this is a soulmate. It's definitely a romantic connection that you start off with. And then with that person, you create a tribe of people that you guys both resonate with, who understand both of you guys. But there's definitely an emphasis on your connections with other people, okay? I do feel like, I don't know, there's definitely a spiritual connection in this pile. Definitely a spiritual connection here. I feel like, you know, a lot of you guys are smarter than you guys give yourself credit for. A lot of you guys are more intelligent than what you give yourself credit for. If you have people in your ear trying to convince you that you are not this intelligent person, that you are not smart, that you need help, you need to get rid of those people, because what I'm showing here in these cards, guys, you guys are borderline genius and you don't really even realize it, okay? You settle for things that you don't have to settle for, when you could be out here living your best life with the people who actually get you and actually help you boost this energy, that boost your confidence, okay? So that you can accomplish even more, okay? Your tribe is very important when it comes to manifesting your goals, manifesting your life purpose and the life that you want, okay? Because with the right people by your side, you feel like anything is possible, okay? When you have the wrong people by your side, you start being full of doubt. You start having anxiety, and you start feeling sad and feeling like you're not good enough, when you are. And I want you guys to know that you are definitely enough, and you are very, very capable and smart. And you have someone in this world, whether you've met them or not, who sees you for all you are, accepts you for all you are, and actually thinks you are awesome, that you are the bomb.com. Okay? So much so that I feel like this person only sees you, pile number 3. So that in itself should like give you like a little boost of self-esteem. But all jokes aside, you guys definitely are far greater than what you give yourself credit for, or allow yourself to receive credit for. And I feel like that needs to change. And I feel like it is going to change. You're going to come into your power, pile number 3. And I do feel like it is alongside a soulmate. Okay, but yeah, who you are meant to become, pile number 3, is this intelligent leader. Okay, very powerful masculine energy. Whether you're male or female, you are a born leader. You're meant to strategize, create plans, lead other people, and you lead with your logic. Okay, you're able to see situations from perspectives that other people can't necessarily see. Okay, that's a gift. And it's time you start using that gift, and it's time you start believing in yourself and your abilities to get you to where you want to be ultimately. Okay, so that's all I'm getting for you guys, pile number 3. If you guys resonated with the reading, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And if you are interested in booking a personal reading or energy healing session, you can visit my website. I hope to see you guys on another reading. Bye.